In the land of Shinar, there was a wise but poor man named Rikayon, who had understanding in all wisdom and a beautiful appearance. He decided to go to Egypt to show his wisdom to Osiris, the king of Egypt, hoping that the king might help him. Upon arriving in Egypt, Rikayon asked the people about the king's customs, learning that the king only went out once a year. On that day, the king would pass judgment, and everyone with a petition would come before him. When Rikayon realized he couldn't meet the king, he was deeply saddened and disappointed. That evening, Rikayon found a ruined house, once a bakery, and stayed there, hungry and sleepless. He thought about how he could survive in the city until the king's next appearance. The next morning, he wandered through the city and met vendors selling vegetables. Rikayon decided to try selling vegetables to support himself but was unfamiliar with the customs and felt out of place. He tried selling the vegetables, but the crowd mocked him, took his goods, and left him empty-handed. Discouraged, he returned to the bakery and spent another night there, still hungry. That night, Rikayon devised a clever plan to escape starvation and take action. The next day, he hired 30 strong men from the city's lower class, armed with weapons, and sent them to the Egyptian tombs. He instructed them to demand 200 silver pieces before allowing anyone to be buried, and they followed his orders all year. Over the next 8 months, Rikayon and his men amassed great wealth, including silver, gold, horses, and more men. When the king came out for his yearly appearance, the people of Egypt complained about Rikayon's actions. The king went out and heard the complaints, asking, "What is this strange thing happening in my land?" The people told the king that Rikayon was demanding a burial tax from the dead, which had never been done before. The people also stated that the king's tax was for the living, not the dead, and they could no longer bear this new tax. When the king heard this, he was enraged, for he had not been aware of Rikayon's actions. The king asked, "Who is responsible for this? Bring him before me now." The people explained that Rikayon was the one behind this, and the king's anger grew even greater. The king ordered that Rikayon and his men be brought before him. To appease the king, Rikayon sent 1,000 children dressed in fine clothes, riding horses, along with gifts of silver, gold, and precious stones. When the king saw Rikayon's gifts and heard his wise words, he was greatly impressed. The king, his servants, and all the people of Egypt were amazed at Rikayon's wisdom, and he found favor with them. The king said, "From now on, you shall be called Pharaoh, for you have acted boldly, and your wisdom is great." The king and his people loved Rikayon for his wisdom, and they made him the prefect of Egypt. A law was established, and Rikayon became the chief ruler under the king, administering justice every day. The king, Osiris, continued to judge only once a year, while Rikayon governed daily. Rikayon cleverly took control of the kingdom and imposed a tax on all the people. The Egyptians loved him, and it was decreed that all future rulers of Egypt would be called Pharaoh. From that time forward, all kings of Egypt were given the title Pharaoh, which continues to this day.